I should have had a lot of prep work done before then. So, Sanbaizu. Sanbaizu is a Japanese thing. I think it literally translates as 3 bowls. It's like 1, 2, 3, 3 bowls. It's something like that. It's a mixture of rice vinegar, Mirin, which is a sweet cooking wine from Japan, or honey or sugar, and soy sauce. It literally was the little rice bowls that they measure rice vinegar out in. Traditionally, I think originally it was equal parts. Now it's usually 2 parts vinegar, 2 parts mirin, 1 part soy. So this is literally just 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar, 2 tablespoons of mirin, and 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. Mixed up, and I've marinated a couple of lovely pork chops in there. Bone in. Now, Sanbaizu traditionally, I think, is more of a dressing or a dip. I've been messing around with it a little bit. May well be blasphemous, but that's neither here nor there. As a marinade and a glaze. Because it's got that sugar in it, it caramelises quite nice. So what we're going to do is we're going to cook these pork chops that have been marinated in Sanbaizu on the barbecue, which is already out, heating up, getting ready to go. This works really well with scallops, which is where I got the idea from the Great British Menu, someone doing Sanbaizu and brown butter scallops. Traditionally, it works really well with chicken as well. Sanbaizu chicken skewers are a thing I do for barbecues quite often now. But traditionally, it would have been like a dipping sauce. Obviously, you can still use it as a dipping sauce. If you make a load of it, separate out, marinate some, we're going to take this reserved marinade out to glaze these while they're on the barbecue, which is why I've got the brush out. But obviously, you don't want to dip in that because it's had raw pork in it. So we're going to just put that to one side for a little bit, let it come out of the fridge. That's been a couple of hours will do, but that's been in there overnight. Alongside that, we're going to have some grilled mushroom and pak choi. Just a light lunch. No reason not to get the barbie going. So the pak choi you just saw me cut down the middle. We're going to leave the root end on, just so it all stays together, so we can put it on the barbecue without it all falling apart. And the mushroom, I've just removed the stalk, just so again it can sit, not flat, but get a little bit flatter on the grill. So in this tray, I'm going to make a little bit of a dressing that I'm going to dip these in before I put them on the grill. So we've got a little bit of sesame oil. And then sesame oil burns quite easily, so to stop that from burning, we're going to chuck in a little vegetable oil. Equal parts, probably about 2 tablespoons of each. And chuck in a little bit of black pepper. And a little bit of soy sauce. Probably about a teaspoon, maybe even a little bit less than a teaspoon. And I want one more thing in there. And I can't see it. Oh, yes, again. Seasoned rice vinegar. Little drizzle of that. Normal rice vinegar will do, but I've got seasoned rice vinegar, which is a nice little dip. So we're just going to do that a little bit of a... So this is just in there, just so that I can do this. Get that all. And do that as well. And the mushroom. The mushroom's probably, the pak choi I'm not going to flip. The mushroom I will, so I'm just going to make sure the mushroom's coated on all sides. Right, I'm just going to grab something clean to put everything on once it's done. And then we're going to head out to the barbie. Right, here we go. So, nice hot coals. Died down a little bit. Been going for about half an hour, but they are still really quite hot. So, pork chop 1. Pork chop 2. Like I said, we're going to baste them a bit with that, so we're just going to let them cook on that side, get a nice bit of a char. You should be able to smell that mirin starting to cook off. Like I said, it's got quite a bit of sugar in it, so it will caramelise. You can leave them on one side, probably give them 2 minutes, then a quarter turn, mostly for aesthetics, just so you can get the nice grill marks, but you leave them a couple of minutes, then we're going to turn them in a minute. Well, in 2 minutes. So I've got raw stuff, going to be cooked, it's going to come off into the not raw side. Have a little peek if you want, try not to move it around too much, but you should be getting a nice little bit of caramelisation and char marks building up. Right, so a little peeky poo. Yeah, so we're going to give that another little drizzle of glaze. Actually, flip them back over first. Beautiful. And go back on that first side for a little bit longer. Get that up. Look at all that nice caramelisation. Beautiful. Right, same again on the other side. Basted that side before I flipped it actually. I don't know if I cut that out or showed it or not. But yeah, so I'm just going to leave it for a couple of minutes on the other side. Careful any flare ups, you might need to move it away from a little bit like that, it's not too bad. I don't think you can actually see down there. But any big flare ups you're going to want to move it away from. It shouldn't be too bad. I mean, these pork chops are kind of fatty, so this fat will start to render, but shouldn't get too bad flare up wise. So pork chops are pretty much done. Only probably about 2 minutes per side. It's very hot, this barbecue. I'm going to chuck these off to one side to rest. And while they're resting, we're just going to go on there with our pak choi, which isn't going to take very long at all, and our mushroom. You really want to get the mushroom in the centre, really it's a bit hotter. The mushroom's going to take a bit longer to cook. And also, if you can adjust the pak choi so that the root end is over the heat. If you know what I mean, this section is going to need more. This section's going to need more cooking than the leaves, but we're just going to get a little bit of char on there, nothing too crazy. Just keep having a look, keep an eye on it, and we'll develop a fair bit of char. Don't be afraid to take it quite far. We want it to get a bit blackened, but you don't want charred to a cinder. There you go, you see you're starting to get a little bit nice bit of char on the tips and around the edge, and nice bit of caramelisation from that soy sauce. Right, so the back tray is pretty much done. I'm going to evacuate that off to our tray with our pork chops. And I'm just going to leave that mushroom in the centre there just to get it, make sure it's cooked all the way through. Right, I'm going to call it time on that mushroom as well, so I'm going to evacuate that as well. Close that down, just so you can head back in and plate everything up. Plate it up, make it look for the gram. But so yeah, rush through it a little bit to begin with. Take my time now because I was worried about the weather. It looked like it was going to rain. Drizzle back over any of those resting juices. Over that pak choi as a dressing, saucy thing. Right, so yeah, Sanbaizu, it's, like I said, it's more often than not used as almost like a dripping sauce or the basis for dressings and sauces and things like that. It isn't really in of itself a marinade or a sauce, as far as my understanding is. I mean, I have done a little bit of Googling. There's not much out there, not much info out there. So if anyone knows more or wants to correct me, please hit me up in the comments and let me know. But it's got this really nice sort of, it's got the sweetness of the mirin or the honey, sugar, whatever like that you use. The umami and the saltiness and the meatiness and that real savouriness of the soy. And then like this funky sour kick coming through from the rice vinegar. And again, it's like one of those sort of things, I talk about it quite a lot, it's one of those sort of things that just ticks every box. And it's just really quite, really well balanced. Like I said, I don't know if I'd use it on pork or lamb. This is pork. Beef or lamb. Don't know if I'd go with beef or lamb. Fish it's quite good with, especially if it's like monkfish, scallops, something that's already got quite a robust flavour. I mean, scallops haven't got a robust flavour, but do you know what I mean? It's already, they're quite substantial in themselves. Works really well with those, and it sort of adds what they're already lacking. And it works really well because that caramelisation over open fire, over open flame, barbecues or Conroe grill. If you've got a Conroe grill, it works really well there. Yeah, give it a go. It's a great marinade. Baste a little bit back on again after you started flipping. Don't forget though, that's had raw meat in it, so make sure you're not putting, once you've rebasted, that it's getting cooked. If you want to be extra careful, make twice as much, and before you start marinating any raw meat in it, separate some out. Works really well with veggies as well. Again, stuff like aubergine, courgette, things that are quite already grill happy, or mushrooms. I mean, I didn't do the mushroom this time, I did the mushroom in that other sort of chucked together dressing sort of thing I did with the veggies. But yeah, hit it on the barbie, get it nice and charred up. I'm going to take some pictures for the gram. But Sanbaizu. I'm probably going to do another Sanbaizu, but with other things. Maybe I'll just do like a barbecue skewer medley thing, but just wanted to get something out there because, like I said, not really seen many people doing it, talking about it. Not really heard. I had never heard of it before, and I've not really seen. There's not really much else out about it. Just like I said, I was watching the Great British Menu, and someone else was doing something on there. So yeah, cool. Hope you're all doing all right. I think I'm back off holiday by now. I'm not sure yet. But this is quite well in advance, but plenty more stuff out by the Barbie coming up. And hope you're doing all right. Hope you're enjoying the beginnings of what hopefully going to be a great summer. And I'll love yous and leave yous, and I'll see yous when I see yous. Bye.